My cat's judging me through the window. It's too cold to leave it open. So she's just sat on this window ledge, staring at me. It's me, Kathy, I've come home. Cat-thee. I won't be singing that to my cats from now on. I will. Totally will. Hi, I'm Abby and welcome back to Firefly Resin. So in my last video where I opened and reviewed the Sophie and Toffee starter box, I also mentioned that I'd signed up for their quarterly subscription box with a Disney theme. I mentioned this month's theme was Cinderella, and well, she's here. I thought it'd be cool for me to open this up on camera, go through what's in the box, and then maybe do one or two other crafts from it. I have seen a couple of sneak peeks of what is in this box, so I have tried to avoid all spoilers. Okay, so the box is beautiful and comes here with the little sticker on it, so it breaks my heart that I have to actually break this. Okay, this is really cute. So the first thing on top is the booklet that comes with it that just explains the kind of things that you've got in here. Again, I probably won't have a look at this until I come across something that I'm not sure on. So here's the box, and right away on top, so this is the first thing that I pulled out. So this looks like the glitters and pigments that Sophie and Toffee curated for the box. I can see that all important blue there for the dress, and yellow for the hair, and the pinks as well. And then there's a lot of glitter, which I'm really excited about here. And then some stars, so that should be pretty cool. We've then got a couple of these things along the bottom. So these are like fastenings and things. So you've got some chains, are those earring backs? They're like charm toppers. So you can put them on top of a charm, cure it in, and then you can thread a needle. So you can then thread a chain through them. Oh, they're little bezel pieces. So again, you can put some on the back of a piece and cure it to it. We've got two different key rings. There are, now I'm assuming these are little magnets, so you can't really see them, but there's like a little thing here. I'm assuming they are magnets. And then you have some pin backs here as well. All those fastening inclusions I'm actually really excited about, because it means that there's like multiple, because just the pure amount that they've included just leads me to believe there's enough in this box to do quite a few projects. The next thing we've got here, so these are some foils, so you can't really see them like that. Rainbow Cinderella foils. So with these you can cut them out and then put them in pieces. Oh, there's some really cute things in here actually. I kind of like the ones at the top the most. It's like these ones I like the most, but I will definitely try these. I do design and create my own foils, so although they don't ever come out this nice. So I'm excited to use those. Okay, now, okay, so this is one of the things that I saw as a sneak peek. I was really excited. So this is a mold. I'll get it out of the plastic actually, that's probably a good idea. There we go. This is a little silicone mold again. Oh, there we go. So you can make like a dress your own doll. So you've got Cinderella there, and you've got two different dresses here. So while you could make the type that she wears in the film, you could also design your own. I think that's really cute. Okay, so we've got now some of our resins. Oh, we've got two different kinds of UV resin here, and they're just branded Cinderella, which it's really cute packaging. The designs are super cute. So you get 30 millilitres in the crystal LED resin, and you get 25 grams in the UV resin for silicone molds. Okay, oh, the next thing are these little polymer things. So these look like, I can never, come on. We'll figure that out later. But this is a bag of little polymer shapes. So you've got, I think his name is Gus there. You've got the pumpkin. So that one there's like a bust of Cinderella. You've got the shoe. So these are things that you can embed in resin. You get quite a lot as well. So if you wanted to use them in multiple projects, you could do. I'll give them a go. They're, I think, again, a well-branded inclusion for this. Okay, so we then got another little mould. And get this out of plastic a little easier than the last time. So this is a tiny, I say tiny, it's not tiny, but we've got a small little shoe mould, and then you can see the little bits around the outside. Now I think this might be a shaker mould, because it's got, if you can, I don't know if you can see it, but where, you know, where the part of the shoe where you'd normally put your foot in it, that's dented in, which means that it would leave like a dent in the resin piece. And because it's got these little charms around the outside, I think that that is supposed to be a shaker charm, which that'd be cute. You could put it on a key ring. They did include some key ring things with this. Okay, cool. Oh, these are nice. Okay, so these are some open back bezels. I don't know why I really struggle with saying that. I don't know if it's the accent or the stupidity. Either or. I'm not going to be foiled by every single bag today. Oh, I love that one. Okay, so this is one of the open back bezels that you've got there. So it's Cinderella in her dress. And what you do is you put some tape on the back of it, and then you can pour the resin in, set it, and then you've got like a nice resin piece. So there are a couple that are definitely I would fill with resin. So we have this one. So these two here, I would definitely put resin in those two. Yeah, I do it with that one as well. So that's one ready to be filled with resin. I really like that design. That's Cinderella with her dress. But then there's a couple of these that I think personally, I don't think they're really pretty. Do not get me wrong. But I personally don't think I would fill with resin. 2 keys. And there's not a lot of space on there to fill with resin. And I think potentially by like filling the heart on this one, you might just ruin it. They are really pretty, and I think I'd potentially put them on a keychain with another bezel that has gotten resin on it. There is the horse and carriage, which again, I don't think I'd really put any resin in here. The only thing I might do is maybe just fill in that middle window part there. There's a stained glass effect. Again, they're really pretty. Out of the 6, there's 3 of them that I would fill with resin as a project. The rest of them I'd leave them as they are. Okay, so the next thing in the box. So this is what leads me to believe that that is actually definitely a shaker charm. We have some shaker oil. Again, they've kept up with the branding. It's really pretty packaging. I'm really happy with all of this. So this is some, again, Cinderella branded Sophie and Toffee 2-part resin. So that'll make 100 grams of product. So I don't know how far 100 grams will go. With this kit, 100 grams of resin will actually probably go a long way. Oh, these are cute. So these are some little metal charms. So they're in shape. So we've got a shoe in there. We've got a Gus again, a pumpkin, a carriage. That's cute. They're little inclusions that you can put in a charm or something. You would need to include them in a charm because they don't have a hole through them. You could potentially put them in a dress actually. That could be quite nice. This is the final thing in the box. Now it all looks like molds, and because they're all packaged together, I assume they all go together. Ooh, okay. It looks like we can build a carriage. These are all the bits together. So, yeah, so Cinderella's carriage silicone molds. Colour changing glitters. What? Apparently that glitter there's colour changing. It doesn't say in what way, if it's a shift or if it's like heat activated. Oh, and brilliant, they've got instructions for the carriage. Happy with that. So you can open the carriage up. Okay, right, so it says here Cinderella, oh no wait, that's the wrong sentence, Abby. The carriage has a dual design depicting the transformation from a pumpkin to a carriage. I hadn't noticed this because I think I was just far too excited. The sides of the carriage, one of them is a pumpkin and one of them is the carriage. Okay, so looking at the projects that I want to do, I definitely want to do the dress one. Yeah, I think it's going to be really cute. You get to have your own little Cinderella that you dress up in a dress that you design, so you can make them either the way that they should look, or you can do what you want with them, which is intriguing. Okay, let's do this. To the craft cave. Na 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 na. I hadn't really used UV resin before, so I wasn't really sure what to expect. With this, I decided for this dress I was just going to try and stick as true to the original colour scheme as I could, given the materials that were just inside the box. So one of the good things I found with UV resin is that because you can cure it in between colours, you can layer things up quite nicely without having to worry about them bleeding or waiting 24 hours for things to set. So as you can see, the mould is scored quite beautifully inside, which made it easy to fill up with the resin. Now I decided to do one of the open back bezels as well, as this would use the same kind of colours that I was using for my doll, just to avoid wasting any resin that I'd already pre-coloured. Now again, brilliantly, as with the UV resin, if you want to set what's in your cup, you can just break it out and then reuse the cup, as I'm doing here. So with this, I was always filling the doll up. It was actually quite easy. It was quite fluid, the UV resin that I was using, which meant that it filled the extremities quite quickly. It didn't take much persuading, and it only took about 2 minutes to cure because it wasn't very thick. So now's the fun part, now's the dress. Now, the colours of the glitter that were included in this kit were honestly gorgeous. I just kind of mixed it on iron based on the dress that was on the box. So the original blue ball gown was a look that I was going for with this. It's honestly, the glitters were so sparkly, I just kind of couldn't believe it. And one of the good things with UV resin, unlike 2-part resin, the glitter doesn't have time to sink, which means you get a more even distribution of glitter throughout the piece, which I think gives a beautiful effect and kind of gives some depth to it. So I'm just mixing my custom blue here. Now, Cinderella was one of the first films that I ever fully fell in love with. Apparently I used to watch it most days, according to my parents, kind of drove them mad. Now I was definitely a Cinderella girl. So here I am just filling the piece up. I did need to mix a bit more of the blue just to finish doing the skirt and the bezel. Now the bezel was quite easy to fill up really. As you can see, I'm just using a little pointer tool just to fill it into the crevices. Again, as the UV resin was so fluid, it kind of spilled naturally and self-leveled, which I found really useful. Into getting into those nooks and crannies. Okay, so just one final bake there, and then there's the dress. I can show you that again properly in a minute. Now with the bezel piece, I did try to peel the back off, and the resin started running out of it because I hadn't cured both sides. If you cure both sides, then you'll stop the resin from spilling everywhere. So I did mess the piece up a little bit like that, but I think it still turned out quite well, as you can see there. And then I'll get you a close up of the dress as well. Again, I was really happy with these pieces, and they were a lot of fun to make. Okay, so I did a couple of the crafts from the box. I did a bezel charm, and I made a little Cinderella doll and a dress, which is very cute. So the little magnets that were provided on the sheet with the pigments, you can put a magnet in the dress and a magnet in the doll, and they will stick together, so you can use them as a little changing doll. Because it was my first time trying it, I didn't want to use the magnets and potentially waste them, but I will try and make some more dresses at some point. The bezel charm was really easy to fill in. You do need to cure both sides of it, I had forgotten, started peeling the tape off, so I've got a couple of bubbles in it, but that is purely user error. And the tape I used was the tape that was included in the Sophie and Toffee starter set, so it's actually fantastic tape. It's not left a sticky residue on it at all. So because it's a bigger project, I am going to do a separate video where I pour and build the carousel, but I think that'll be a really interesting project. I think this box is fantastic. So it was slightly more than the usual subscription box. I think this cost me $64, which is just about £50. Then you've got to remember, these are Disney branded moulds, and you get to pull I get to pull as many of this carousel as I want. So for a good decent sized mould, you are looking at spending anywhere from £20 to £100, depending on the rarity of the mould and if the sculpt is original. Considering in this box you get 6 different moulds, as well as the bezel and things like this. This is fantastic value for money, which are all Disney branded, and you can reuse as many times as you want. It's a fantastic deal. I think the little dress up doll is adorable. Overall, I think this box is fantastic. A lot of reusable moulds in it, and lots of glitter. I love glitter for a project like this, so I'm really happy with this box. And I don't know if you saw, but I did use a couple of the tools from the Sophie and Toffee starter box. So the mixing cups were from that, as was the silicone mat, and the tool that I used to fill the bezel and fill the mould with, that was also from that box, and the bezel tape as well. So I've actually used a decent amount of that box. Like I said, it wasn't a bad box, it just, not everything was amazing. Okay, so that's it for this video, so bye. Does anybody have that music where you start listening to it as a joke, and then before you know it you're addicted and it's the only music you listen to? I'm currently like that with all of Danny Gonzalez's song releases. I know Slime off by heart. I'm 31 years old.